Welcome, my friends. The Home Doctor, practical medicine for every household. I've always been into using home remedies and natural health stuff, so when I stumbled upon The Home Doctor, practical medicine for every household, I was really interested. I tend to handle minor cuts, colds, and digestion issues at home, so having a go-to guide that's checked and approved by doctors sounded like a real win. After reading through the ebook, I gotta say it totally lives up to that. Super practical, trustworthy, and easy for everyday folks to use. One thing I really liked about this book is how credible it feels. It's co-authored by Dr. Mabel Nieves, who's a surgeon out in Venezuela. She's worked in places where they don't always have access to all the modern gear or meds, so she knows her stuff. I usually rely on expert-backed advice for my home treatments, so knowing a real doctor with hands-on experience put this together gives me way more confidence in the tips it offers. She mixes solid medical science with simple, home-friendly solutions, making the info both trustworthy and easy to follow. The layout of the ebook is another big plus. It's super organized. There are sections for common illnesses, emergencies, herbal remedies, and even survival situations. I keep some key products in my home for cuts, bruises, and upset stomachs, and honestly, having dedicated chapters for things like wound care, pain relief, and digestion made applying the advice a lot easier and safer. Plus, the writing's clear, straightforward, with no confusing medical jargon, so anyone can get it, even if you're not a health pro. What really stands out to me is the detailed section on emergency first aid and survival. I keep a basic kit at home. Antiseptics, gauze, bandages, and some basic meds. And this book helped me understand exactly how to use everything in real emergencies like burns, broken bones, or allergic reactions. It also walks you through recognizing signs of a heart attack or stroke, and what steps to take while waiting for help. Honestly, some of that info could really save lives and makes me feel more prepared. I'm a big fan of herbal medicine, so I loved the part about natural remedies. The book lists a bunch of home cures using ingredients like garlic, honey, turmeric, and ginger. I already use some of these in teas and poultices, but this gave me new ideas and recipes I hadn't tried yet. It does a good job explaining how each remedy works, the possible side effects and interactions, so you're not just winging it but actually using things safely and smartly. I wanted to share my experience with this really helpful guide on managing health at home. It covers all the essentials like dealing with chronic illnesses such as high blood pressure, diabetes, and arthritis. I personally use some supplements, a blood pressure monitor, and try to stick to healthy meal plans. What I loved about the book is how it points out what signs to watch for, what emergencies might look like, and simple things you can do at home before rushing to the doctor. This is especially handy if you live out in the countryside or during situations like lockdowns or natural disasters where getting help isn't always easy. Another part that really surprised me, in a good way, is the section on mental health. I've been using lavender oil, herbal teas, and breathing exercises to manage stress, but this book took it a step further by sharing practical coping tips, behavioral advice, and signs that tell you it might be time to get professional help. It treats mental well-being as just as important as physical health, which, honestly, isn't always the case in home health guides. Taking care of medicines and keeping things hygienic is super important, and the guide does a great job explaining how to store medications safely, spot expiry dates, and avoid cross-contamination. I use a few products in my medicine cabinet and pantry, but I hadn't realized that factors like temperature and humidity could mess with their shelf life. Thanks to the tips, I've reorganized things and made my supplies last longer and work better. The guide also prepares you for emergency situations. Power outages, water shortages, or if you're cut off from hospitals. I've got a water filter, a portable stove, and a solar torch, but I didn't really know how to handle medical issues in those scenarios. Now, I feel a lot more confident about dealing with infections, fevers, or even small procedures like draining an abscess, things I used to be a bit nervous about. From a design perspective, the ebook looks fantastic. The pictures are sharp, the diagrams are easy to understand, and the layout makes it simple to find what you need fast. I read it on my tablet and phone, and it works perfectly on both. The internal links and chapters flow smoothly, so flipping through during an emergency feels quick and straightforward. After using this guide for a couple months, I genuinely think it's one of the most useful digital resources I've ever bought. I've been using some products to keep my family healthy, but this book really deepened my understanding and helped me use everything more safely and effectively. Whether you're living in a remote area, getting ready for emergencies, or just want to be more on top of your family's health, I think this book is a great partner. It really balances modern medicine with at-home care, so that makes a lot of sense. To wrap it up, if you care about being prepared, staying well, and having more control over your health decisions, The Home Doctor, Practical Medicine for Every Household, is more than a book. It's a must-have. Thanks to it, I now use my health supplies with more knowledge and care. I wholeheartedly recommend it for anyone wanting a safer, healthier home, whether or not you have immediate access to medical help. Thank you.